What's up, everyone? Welcome to Monday Night Football Showdown Pre-Lock. I'm your host, TJ Zwarych, joined by one of the sharpest minds in the biz, former $1 million winner, Bobby Gomes. How you doing, Bobby?
Doing well, ready for all the CMC tonight. I don't know about you. I feel like it's hopefully have some McCaffrey shares for sure in best ball.
Well, for me, it's just hopefully avoiding a big Josh Downs night. That's my big best ball sweat going. I got a team that is currently advancing, but 16 points from Josh Downs, and it would bump me down to second place. So I got a nice, fun best ball sweat for tonight's game. Hopefully, old man Phillip Rivers doesn't come in and look like his former self and sling it for 300 yards. I need a quiet, calm game from that Colts offense, and hopefully we can push a team through to the $20 best ball final on DraftKings next week. Should be a decent little game, though. I feel like this would be more fun looking at these two teams. I guess there's not a time during the season that this would have been a fun matchup because the 49ers were so injured earlier in the season when the Colts were dominant, and then as the 49ers got healthy, really started looking good. The Colts started wavering a little bit. But still, two teams with hoping, I guess the 49ers have now clinched, but hoping to get into the playoffs or improve their playoff position. What are your thoughts on this one? How do you think it's going to go from a real-life perspective?
Yeah, the 49ers for me are just getting healthy. So from a real-life perspective, with the Colts basically losing Daniel Jones and kind of teetering, but basically playing well versus Seattle, like their roster is teetering in terms of injuries and stuff. I think the 49ers win here. It's more, I think it's more of a reps game for Indy to like. Obviously the game's important for Indy. Don't get me wrong, but really it's just more reps for Phillip Rivers, who's going to be their quarterback going forward in the playoffs. And I think that's kind of the most important thing for them. Because you can only go as far as your quarterback. And for a 45-year-old who just started his first game in 5 years, like you want to make sure like he's getting playing as much football as possible or getting as many snaps as possible for the playoffs. So yeah, that's pretty much my team. For the Indy side, like
if they even make it into the playoffs, though, I think right now, if I'm not mistaken, they are out of the playoff picture. Yeah, they are.
Yeah. I think they'll sneak in, but it is what it is.
Hopefully is a fun one, and fingers crossed for me, that is a fun one that does not feature Josh Downs having a big game. Although, admittedly, my single entry lineup today, my main lineup, it is not what I think is going to be the best lineup. It is Josh Downs at captain as a big hedge. That's where I'm going in that one. But if you're watching us live on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. But most of all, hit the like. Help us battle that YouTube algorithm. Keep the lights on over here. Keep making it so that we can give you these free shows through the holiday season. And we will have these shows through the holiday season. On the 24th, we'll have shows for the Christmas NBA and NFL slate. So stay tuned for those. Plus, throughout the week, we'll have lots more football with slates on basically every day, it seems like. Also, it's a good time to get yourself a 3-day pass because we do have slates all throughout the week. $9.99. You can get a 3-day pass. That's 50% off, and that's the wrong graphics too. Sheesh, I'm all out of sorts. There we go. Build lineups through the weekend with only $9.99. Get access to lineup HQ. Get access to SimLabs. You get access to all of it. So get yourself an NFL 3-day pass. Perfect week with slates all the time to do it. And you can get it for only $9.99. Plus, we got a brand new featured tool here at RotoGrinders called PickLabs. It's the newest feature that lets you scan the best player props and pick 'em bets in seconds. Everything's broken down for you from edges and win rates to value. It's a clean board showing which plays actually stand out across sportsbooks and sites like Underdog and Prize Picks. And when you see something you like, PickLabs builds the slip and sends it straight to the book of your choice. Right now, you can try PickLabs completely free on RotoGrinders through December 28th. Just visit rotogrinders.com/PickLabs. Try it once. You'll be wondering how this wasn't a thing already. The link for PickLabs to try free is right down there in the description below us. Bobby, let's start at the captain position. I feel like the biggest question is Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, or the field, because those two are going to be mega highly owned at the captain position today, probably picking up, 40% in large field stuff, 50, 60 plus when we get to the single entry streets. Who is your favorite captain tonight? And start us off with the Taylor McCaffrey convo.
Yeah, for me, it's strongly McCaffrey. Playing McCaffrey at probably 2x his captain ownership currently. Just a great game script, spreads in his favor. They should be winning. They should get, if Philip Rivers turns the ball over, he should have more attempts on the Colts side of the 50-yard line. So I think that's beneficial. And he's Christian McCaffrey, and all the usage the highest amount of usage is going to go through him in the San Fran offense. So I'm pretty bullish on McCaffrey. On the Taylor side, I think Taylor's fine. They try to work in Taylor pretty a good bit versus the Seahawks. So for me, I just think they're going to be trailing. I'm going to be slightly under the field on Taylor in the captain position. That's mainly how I'm building. I'm building more heavy 49ers scripts. 49ers winning, and my captains are going to reflect that. I have a good bit of Purdy, good bit of Kittle, good bit of Jennings. So mainly all 49ers. The only two, I have like Warren, Pittman, and Downs, but very, very little. And Taylor and Warren would be the two that I'd prioritize on the Colts side, but they're not guys that I just way, way more bullish on the San Fran side.
That's exactly how I feel as well. And if I were building things a little bit differently, I just did some 20 entry outside of that Downs lineup. I just did a 20 entry max and some pretty low dollar stuff. So I'm taking some shots, and I did basically just 20 lineups with no Jonathan Taylor or Christian McCaffrey at the captain, but I'm still going very heavy on the 49ers. I have a ton of Christian McCaffrey in the flex position. And guys I'm getting to the most are George Kittle, Brock Purdy, Kendrick Bourne, but Purdy is going to be my favorite off of the pivots, off of the main two. I'm with you, though. If I'm picking one of Taylor or McCaffrey is absolutely that guy for me tonight. If I'm running sort of even an optimal style lineup tonight, I definitely prefer Christian McCaffrey over Jonathan Taylor. One, because I think the script will be in the 49ers' favor, but two, even if it's not, that doesn't negatively affect Christian McCaffrey. Like, if the Colts are playing ahead, that certainly benefits Taylor, but that's fine for McCaffrey as well, because he's going to be super involved in the passing game. Of those ancillary 49ers, Kittle, Purdy, Jennings, Bourne, who is your favorite captain of that group?
I think it's Jennings. It just seems like Purdy and Jennings have a very good rapport. And for me, I just prefer Jennings from a captain perspective. Kittle's right there. I have a lot of Kittle in the flex, but I think I just prefer the ceiling of what I think Jennings brings on the slate.
Going to be Purdy for me, but I have no problem with Jennings at all either. I think he is a very good second. I see Mario Donese in chat saying Jennings anytime touchdown. I haven't looked at the odds for that, but certainly a bet that I like to come true. I definitely think that Jennings likely gets into the box tonight. Of the Colts guys, I think you said like that not named Jonathan Taylor. If you're getting to any of them, captain, Warren was probably your number one.
If I'm getting to any of them, captain, Taylor's my number one, but I feel like I'm relatively under the field on Taylor.
Yeah.
Or slightly under the field, and then just getting to more McCaffrey and Jennings. That's kind of how I'm building.
I didn't have Jennings captain team in my lineup, so I just made some adjustments right now, and I actually really like.
I think you maybe I should be rethinking the Taylor stuff.
I think you're on the right side of it, if I'm being honest. I like
I don't know if I want to have like an extreme amount of McCaffrey or be like more over the field on Taylor. Right now I'm leaning to having an extreme amount of McCaffrey, but yeah.
With both of them being so highly owned at the captain position, And it'll be exact same on FanDuel. Like I'll switch the screen share here to the MVP over there. But I think with both of them, and it's even more so the case on FanDuel, they're going to be 60+% owned over there between the two of them. I think it's smart to take a big stand on one, because if you're just even to the field, well, you're going to be playing pretty similarly to everybody else there. But if you're doubling down on one of them, going under on the other, I don't see a problem with that whatsoever for large field tournaments in this spot. I saw some people talking kickers at captain tonight. You got any kicker captain lineups?
I have Pinheiro captain. Do I have any? Who is it? Group E? I don't think I have Group E. No, I have Group E and Pinheiro, but very little. Like the field, which is like 1% for both.
Are you running 150 in the main contest tonight?
150 in the main, yeah. 150.
Nate Boy in chat talking about how Robinson may get some more snaps. Duncan Robinson with Pearsall out. I do have some Duncan Robinson, a couple Duncan Robinson captain lineups actually as well. I was hoping, as soon as I saw Robinson may get more snaps, my mind immediately went to Brian, because there's actually a little bit more to it than the Josh Downs getting more than 16 points from my sweat. I could have Brian Robinson Jr. start counting if he gets over 9 points. If he gets over 9 points, then which is what Breece Hall had, who I currently have starting. Oh yeah, thank you, the Tolan in chats actually as well. I said Duncan Robinson. I meant DeMarcus Robinson. Duncan is, of course, the NBA player for the Pistons.
There's a Duncan Robinson on the. Isn't there a Duncan Robinson on the Washington Redskins too, or something like that? No, I could be wrong.
No, I don't know. I don't think there's Robinson on the Commanders, but yeah, Duncan is a Pistons player. DeMarcus is who I was referring to, but Brian is who I need for best ball, because if he gets more than 9 points, then he actually starts counting for that team as well. So if he happens to break a touchdown tonight or gets more involved because the 49ers are playing with a big lead, that would give me a counting chance in my best ball sweat as well. Let's start going over to the flex position. You're going to be under on Taylor at the captain and MVP. So will I. What are your thoughts on rolling him out at the flex?
I'm over on him in the flex pretty significantly.
Over?
Yeah. I'm currently over on him, yeah.
How much? What's the percentage you're rolling out right now with Taylor at flex?
Like 60% Taylor and flex. Yeah.
I think that's the way to handle it. McCaffrey as the heavy captain guy, Taylor as the heavy flex guy. I do have, so in my 20 max, I'm going completely off of those two with the captain, but I'm playing a ton of both of them with the flex. And it's one of the positives of getting to some of these cheaper guys at the captain position, is it's very easy to roll some of those guys out. What about the quarterbacks? Because I'm pretty heavy on Purdy in this spot. Outside of the one lineup I threw in with Downs at captain to hedge my best ball, that one has Phillip Rivers. Other than that, I don't have Phillip Rivers at all in my 20 entry max.
Yeah, I'm under the field on Rivers. I think Rivers is going to be like 15% owned, and I'm under that. So definitely not interested in Rivers too much. It says a lot, because if you're fading Downs in best ball, that kind of bodes well for you, I would imagine. Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
What about for Purdy? Where are you getting to?
I am way over the field on Purdy. I have a lot of Brock Purdy.
My favorite captain, and so I'm not overly high on him with flex just because I have a ton of him at captain, but I am still getting to a lot of him at the flex position as well. Big fan of Purdy today. What about the Jennings Kittle tier? You mentioned you have a little bit more Jennings than Kittle at the captain. Is that the same for flex?
No, it's not the same for flex. I have more Kittle and flex, and Jennings slightly below. Well, Jennings a little bit less in terms of his field ownership. I think Jennings probably the better captain play. It's kind of similar to what I'm doing with McCaffrey and Taylor. I'll play one heavy in captain and then one pretty heavy in the flex. So, yeah.
This 6 to 7K range on pricing tier, this is where it's kind of no man's land for me. I don't think I'm going to have any Michael Pittman. I do have some Tyler Warren, but I don't have any Alec Pierce either. If the Colts passing game actually gets unleashed and Phillip Rivers looks good, it's just going to be a close the laptop, shut the TV off, and move on to another day for me because I don't have any of these guys. How about you?
What did you say? Sorry.
Pierce, Pittman, Warren. I have some Warren, but no Pierce, Pittman whatsoever.
Yeah, I have some Warren. Like I said, like if I'm not going to have that much Rivers, I don't think it makes a ton of sense to play a ton of Pierce or Pittman. I think those two kind of hurt each other. And then Downs would be the one I have the most of, but it's like not a ton. It's right with the field. So, yeah.
Downs is the one I have the most of as well. One, because he's cheap, 5,600, very easy to get to him tonight. But two, it's a big hedge for me in the best ball streets. Where do you compare Downs in your ownership to Pinheiro, 49ers defense, Group B? Because I actually think, or Group, however you say his last name, I actually feel like Downs is more easily comparable to that tier because he's closer in price to the kickers and the defenses than he is the other receivers.
Yeah, I have Downs ahead of Pinheiro and ahead of Group A currently.
Any reason in particular why you like him more than them?
I just feel like more people are just going to play the kickers because your Pinheiro's what, 5K, Group B is 4,600. The 600 extra for Downs. I just feel like they're also going to be higher owned and just paying up. It's just a way to be different if you want to play the $600 difference, and they project pretty similar.
I was kind of shocked to see the kickers being like double, even close to triple the ownership percentage of Downs. And so I do think that makes him a really good GPP play in this spot. Are you getting to any of the defenses at all? 49ers defense is priced way, way, way up, but I think that does make sense going up against Phillip Rivers. Colts defense, real cheap all the way down at 34. But I still kind of think because of the high upside of other guys in that range, like Brian Robinson, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Bourne, I can't see myself really getting to the Colts defense at all.
Yeah, I'm under on both of the defenses. It's mainly because, like you said, the 4,800 on the 49ers defense is an extremely high price. And I think I might just rather play the kickers in that scenario, whether it be Pinheiro or Groupie, and they're both at 46, and Pinheiro's at 5K and Groupie's at 4,600. So I'm just leaning more playing to play the kickers there.
That's how I feel too. I like the kickers better than the defenses in this spot. I'm still playing 49ers defense a little bit just because I find myself searching for plays in that price range a lot. But I think Kendrick Bourne, Pinheiro, Groupie, I like all of those guys better than the 49ers defense tonight. And then the Colts defense, not even going to be on my list. How are you handling the Kendrick Bourne, Duncan Robinson, who will be the wide receiver two, who gets more looks type of situation tonight?
Kendrick Bourne, I think I have more Demarcus Robinson currently. Kendrick Bourne, I'm not getting a ton of. I would imagine he comes in very chalky, and Demarcus Robinson's probably going to come in half of his ownership. So playing Demarcus Robinson, I think, is somewhat like a viable flip when the majority of the field is going to be going to Bourne.
I think that's a smart way to go about it in tournaments. And oddly enough, it's actually the guy below them, though, projecting for more ownership than both. And that's Brian Robinson. He's going to be very popular on both FanDuel and DraftKings tonight, really cheap on both sites. If you're going heavy on McCaffrey, are you going to be light on the chalky Robinson, or are you just going all in on the 49ers onslaught?
No, I'm very light on Robinson. If he's going to be chalky, I'm going to be significantly under his ownership. I think it's a McCaffrey game, like I said from the top. So that's how I'm constructing it.
Anybody cheaper than that you're considering punting with? An Amir Abdullah, Kyle Juszczyk, Mo Alley Cox, Luke Farrell, anyone like that?
I think Luke Farrell is the one I'm getting the most of. I have some Drew Ogletree as well on the indie side. those would be the two that I'm over the field on that I obviously don't love, but it is showdown and anything can happen, right?
Absolutely.
Laquan Treadwell, I think, as well for Indy. Yeah, those would be, they're like, I have them all pretty much the same.
Mario Donese asking about Amir Abdullah. I do think he's viable in that type of script where you just play the 49ers absolutely blow the Colts out. And so Abdullah is the only Colt you play in that lineup. I do think that is very viable because you get a situation where they have four, that doesn't really make sense, but 6 points going into the fourth quarter, and Jonathan Taylor gets pulled out of the game, and Amir Abdullah just catches 4 or 5 check down passes and ends up being the optimal Colt. I think that is a totally viable type of lineup build tonight. How much Abdullah do you have?
Like 2%, not a ton of Abdullah.
I only have him in one lineup right now, so I guess 5%, and that's with Jonathan Taylor. But I actually think I'm going to add him into one more and just do that sort of 49ers onslaught build as well. We'll start going to some questions. We'll go to the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat first. I will go to the YouTube chat second. You got any questions at all for tonight's game, for what's for dinner, for whatever, what have you, get them in the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat, get them into the YouTube chat. And YouTube, all we ask is that you are hitting the like button. Before we get to the questions, I want to know, who is your feel it in the Plums play of the night? Who is breaking the slate and why?
My feel it in the Plums play, it is going to be, do you want that now?
Yeah.
Just Christian McCaffrey. I think the spread indicates the running backs. We know Christian McCaffrey is a lot of usage. I really like Christian McCaffrey. If you don't want someone as chalky as that, Juwan Jennings is probably my favorite secondary captain.
It's going to be Brock Purdy for me. I think he's going to be lighting it up in the passing game. I will say my off-the-wall one, and it's because it's all my Plums can think about, it's Josh Downs. I want Josh Downs to fail, but I'm playing an absolute ton of Josh Downs as a hedge for my best ball team in this one, and I can't help it. That is who my Plums are feeling because that's what the Plums got on their mind. That's what I got on my Plums because it's just it's a much bigger sweat getting into the final than I think it is on an individual showdown slate. Let's start getting to some of these questions. Let's see here. DKGPP, do you have any Tyler Goodson?
I do not have any Tyler Goodson. Should I have Tyler Goodson? No, actually, I do have Tyler Goodson. $200 for running back on the Colts. And yeah, I'm getting over the field on Tyler Goodson. It's probably because I'm trying to force like so much McCaffrey captain though. So do it at your own risk.
I like it. I like it because again, I think that's one of those situations where maybe that's the only Colt you play. Maybe they just don't. You're playing a lineup where the Colts don't score any points, and then you just play the $200 guy and you soak up all the points from the 49ers today. Scrolling up here on YouTube, I was surprised we didn't have our Carolina guy in the Discord yet asking about FanDuel, but now I see him typing, and so I'm going to pre-ask his question: favorite FanDuel MVP, and who is your favorite contrarian flex on FanDuel?
Favorite FanDuel MVP. It's like McCaffrey. Like, why wouldn't it be McCaffrey? Just the same. Contrarian flex on FanDuel. I'd probably go 49ers D. What's their price on FanDuel? Tej.
Sorry, it only has the percentages up on SimLabs. Let me swap over to FanDuel in my lineup HQ. 49ers defense is $7K on FanDuel. 200 more than Pinheiro, 200 less than Bourne.
Okay, yeah.
So actually less than they are, relatively less than they are on DraftKings.
So they're going to be chalkier, you think? Probably.
Currently projecting them for 18% ownership, where
So
Bourne is actually half that right now on FanDuel.
Bourne is?
Yeah. Bourne's coming in sub 10% over on FanDuel.
I like
because
the
he's
Bourne
more expensive
FanDuel.
over there, like relative to the price cap.
Yeah, I like the Bourne call on FanDuel.
What construction are most of your lineup? You get into more 5-1s or 5-2s or 4-2s? Sorry,
4-2s, a lot of 4-2s.
I think it's a little bit more 5-1s for me, but I am getting to some 4-2s as well. What is your how much each are you getting to of McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor at captain?
Like 40% McCaffrey, and then slightly under on the ownership on Taylor. I'm probably, if he's going to be around 24%, I'll probably have 20, I guess.
All right. What are your thoughts on Kyle Juszczyk tonight as a cheap flyer?
Like, he's in the pool, but yeah, I'm not getting to a ton of Juszczyk.
Yeah, definitely not somebody overly exciting. You're just kind of hope he falls into a touchdown or catches a screen pass or two. Are you putting any merit in Jonathan Taylor's home/away splits? He averages 30.2 fantasy points per game at home, while only 18.1 on the road.
No, but I don't know. You could.
I don't really play like the home away stuff. I don't really consider that much either. I feel like typically, if anything, it's just they're favored in more games at home, which leads to positive scripts for Jonathan Taylor. But Pierce or Pittman, 7,500 left on DraftKings. You got to pick one of the Colts receivers. Who are you going with?
Probably Pittman.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Pittman there as well. I've liked Pierce a little bit more all season, but now they got Rivers in there who probably can't throw it quite as far down the field as he used to. Plus, he's got that rapport with Pittman playing together from the last time he was in Indy. Is fading McCaffrey possible? I do have a couple lineups where, like, if I was playing one lineup, I certainly wouldn't fade McCaffrey, but I do have some lineups where I faded McCaffrey entirely. And in those ones, I went Purdy, MVP, Jonathan Taylor on the other side. I made sure I had Juwan Jennings, I had Kittle, I had Bourne. And so that's kind of how I would want to go about things if I'm fading McCaffrey, is maybe I'm getting Brian Robinson in there. And if not, I'm getting all of the other pass catchers for 49ers today. Let's see. What are your thoughts on Juwan Jennings for MVP on FanDuel?
He's perfectly fine. He's my second favorite captain on the slate. I really like Jennings.
Yeah, projecting for 3% ownership on FanDuel at the MVP position. Basically, if you are going anybody not named Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, you're probably going to get 5% or less ownership for them at the MVP position. So you're getting a very low-owned option. Nothing wrong with trying that back whatsoever. Let me see. Do we got anything else in the Discord? Our guy Carolina guy says he needs Kittle and Jonathan Taylor to have a quiet day because of his season-long final. And so he's playing the hedge as well, just like me. He's loading up on those two in DFS today. And our guy J3 says he's playing downs and single entry and dedicating it to TJ. J3, I hope we lose. I hope we lose in DFS tonight, because I definitely would prefer to get to that best ball final, have a shot at the 2.5 million as opposed to a solid day in today's DFS. But I think we have hit everything. I think we can start getting out of here. We do have one more question popping in. Any love for Tyler Warren? What are your thoughts on Tyler Warren tonight?
He's fine, but I don't love the Colts in general. Like, they're not a team. I'm very strong on the San Fran side, particularly McCaffrey, Jennings, and Purdy. He'd be my second favorite Colt behind Taylor, though, from an overall exposure perspective.
All right. Give me one quick recap, if you don't mind, of who you like, who you don't like, how you're rolling things out tonight, and then I think we will get out of here.
Yeah, like I said, it's pretty much all San Fran, McCaffrey, Juwan Jennings, Purdy, Kittle. Gonna have a lot of 49ers heavy lineups with some Colts run backs. Going to be higher on kickers than defense. And yeah, that's pretty much how I'm mixing in these cheapies.
2 back-to-back questions coming in. How do we feel about just jamming in Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey together? That's basically what both of us are doing. You with McCaffrey at the captain position and Jonathan Taylor at the flex. Me with both of them at the flex, and then either Brock Purdy or one of the cheaper 49ers at the captain position. But above all else, we both want to jam both of them in. Me at both the flex, Bobby McCaffrey captain, JT at the flex. But both of them together regardless. QQ, DK, GPP, Kendrick Bourne, or Duncan Robinson. I like Bourne a little bit better. You're leaning to Robinson, correct?
I like Demarcus Robinson better, yes.
Bourne had that connection with Mac Jones, but we don't necessarily know he's going to have that with Purdy. And so Robinson absolutely could be the guy. They're basically, it's kind of one of those situations where on FanDuel, you're going to have, for the price, Robinson looks better. He'll be chalkier. Bourne's going to be the lower owned option. And then it's the reverse over on DraftKings. But that'll do it. That is it for all of the questions. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in today. Happy holidays. But don't forget, we do have more shows coming up over the next couple days in did I say Duncan Robinson again? I meant to Marcus.
You said it again. Yeah. You said it again.
Basketball on the mind. Get this fancy caffeine. Oh, it's been a long. We had family over the last 2 days, and so yesterday was like the big family supper for some people who were coming in out of town, and today was like my rest day before I get back into it with more family stuff over the next couple of days, and so I am really feeling the come down of it a little bit today. But Demarcus Robinson on, so we will bounce out of here. Good luck on all of your contests. Smash the like button on the way out. On behalf of myself, Bobby, Duncan Robinson, Demarcus Robinson, the whole Robinson family, we will see you next time. Peace.